Governor, don't you have a moral responsibility to resign?
My commitment is to fix the problem. This is a case where we should have demanded more answers. I said that in my opening statement.
And don't you have a moral responsibility as the governor of an administration that failed and poisoned its own people? Don't you have the moral responsibility to resign?
What I would say is when you have experts that you relied on, they failed. They worked for me, so you have a responsibility for that. I kick myself every day wishing I would have demanded more answers and asked more questions. But to put it in context, when something bad happens, and this is a terrible tragedy, this has been the humbling experience of my life,
I believe for the citizens of Flint, it's been far worse than just a humbling experience.
To walk away from it, I want a commitment to, I'm making a commitment to solve this problem because the Flint people deserve better.
That was Michigan Governor Rick Snyder on Capitol Hill today. He and the EPA Administrator Gina McCarthy came under intense scrutiny for their handling of the water crisis in Flint, Michigan. In September of 2015, a Virginia Tech professor flagged the lead levels in Flint's water system as severely toxic. And today, lawmakers tried to drive that point home.
What does accountability look like for you?
Gentlewoman's time has expired, but the governor may answer.
Congresswoman, this is a sad event. This is a tragedy that never should have happened. And I understand why the people of Flint, they should be angry. In terms of looking at this, I kick myself every day asking what more questions could I ask, what we could have done. We had a lot of discussions about water during that entire period, in line with the headlines you said. But as we go back to the experts over and over again, we were told the water was safe. That was wrong. And it wasn't just one department. As it continued on, we got information not only from the DEQ, but the Department of Health and Human Services that they didn't see elevated levels in blood. That was wrong. Dr. Mona spoke up. So we had cases where it took outside experts. That's tragic. We failed at doing what should have happened in terms of career bureaucrats that were experts, quote unquote experts, that, to be open with you, I get so mad that I never should have believed them. And it ultimately came down to finally saying, after those reports came out in September from Dr. Hanna-Attisha Hanna, and from Professor Edwards, I said, we have to have a call.
You heard the governor reference Professor Marc Edwards. He's the one who first flagged the issue. Also, Snyder mentioned Dr. Hanna-Attisha. She's the pediatrician in Flint who noticed that the number of children with dangerous levels of lead in their blood had doubled soon after the city started using water from the Flint River. Here's a look at the initial calls from fixing Flint's water system after the alarms were sounded.
3, 2, 1.
This is a historic step for us. It's the day where we actually turn off the Detroit system and turn on the treated Flint River water going into our drinking water supply. Here's the Flint.
Here's the flag. Here it is.
My hair's falling out. My blood tests are a mess. I was healthy. And now I have rashes on my face.
People begging in the United States of America for clean drinking water that they pay for. Are you kidding me?
It's been very difficult. It's, my kids have been getting sick, rashes, mysterious rashes that the doctors don't know what to do or where it came from. My other son has blisters inside his mouth from brushing the teeth with the water.
You think it's because of the water?
It is because of the water. It is no way around that.
When we heard about elevated water lead levels from the Virginia Tech group that was analyzing the water, pediatricians started to freak out. The entire city of Flint had an almost doubling of the percentage of children with elevated lead levels. It went from 2.1% of children to 4% of children with elevated levels.
All right, it's going to be a little bit of a job getting it out, okay?
The lead should never touch a child. So if it's detected in a child, it's almost too late. But you see the results at 5 years of age when they need early intervention services and special education. You see the impact at 10 years when they're having ADHD-like symptoms. And you'll see the impact when they're like 15 years old and they're having trouble with the criminal justice systems.
Do you feel like people don't care about Flint?
They don't care. They don't care because you gotta think we was getting our water from Flint River. You know how many bodies was found in Flint River? That river is polluted, you know.
Why do you think people don't care?
Because it's just a high crime rate here, and it's more poor African American.
It's so serious that people almost are afraid to talk about it. It's a dirty secret, and you just think about how daunting this is. 13 million lead pipes, we don't know where they are. We've lost the records. The records we have oftentimes are wrong. Long term, these pipes are just sitting there out of sight, out of mind, and the second you forget about them, they create another tragedy. And so we really do have to invest in getting these pipes out of the ground and just getting them out of contact with the drinking water so they can't hurt another generation down the road.